After Kid Cudi, you had Cassie, you had a sex worker saying he beat her during the sex, and you had Kid Cudi. After Kid Cudi, these witnesses are bullshit. My lover, my partner, after he made you fuck 3 men in a night. Ask Puff if he wants a t-shirt after he dangled you over a balcony. I'm in his mansion after he punched you in your face and kicked you out of it. This all seems voluntary and bullshit. And like I said, I'm not victim blaming at all. In fact, find him guilty for what he really is, an abuser. And guess what? That's not any of the charges. So he's going to walk. And if I feel that way and I'm a woman, you think it's 8 men on the jury. You think they about to find him guilty of this bullshit, voluntary bullshit? He's walking.
I just got to reread this. Old girl says.
Now, old girl right here is Jane Doe. So this is very important right here. Everybody hit the thumbs up button. Everybody hit the thumbs up button and drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. This woman right here is talking about Jane Doe. Listen to this.
I said, you knew I would finish strong. Pep talks to keep me performing. I know I was consenting. Like you said, you didn't know. I didn't want it. This is my truth. I love you very much. I need to take a pause. Yo.
I love you very much. I need to take a pause. The coercion, the way of looking at this as he made these women do all this stuff. It doesn't sound like that. Listen, keep listening, though. It's going to get crazier.
Why are we here? She just said, I know I was consenting. You didn't know I didn't want it. This is my truth. Why are we here? Somebody help me. She used the word consent. Yes, she used the word consent. Someone that says the feds forced.
And this woman right here, she's a dope content creator. I think she's live right now. She's been live all morning. So shout out her. Her name is attorney Stephanie Woodwine, I think.
To testify. Someone said,
yeah. Attorney Simone Redwine. Her name is Attorney Simone Redwine. Attorney Simone Redwine. Check her out.
The feds forced her to testify. Must have. I think they must have. And I think that was foolish. But I still have a slight theory. Y'all, I have a theory that maybe Diddy wanted her to testify so that it would throw everything off as it seems to be doing right now.
Yep.
Basically, go in, be your nice, sweet self, testify to this ridiculous argument, and increase the likelihood that a jury will say not guilty to both of the counts.
See, all of this is not about the counts. It's not about Diddy. It's about the jury. And this is something that y'all got to understand. This is about the jury. The jury is a bunch of human beings that done a whole bunch of dumb shit in their lives. And it's 8 out of 12 men. All of us done paid for some ass before. All of us done gave a woman something, or, you know, I'm sure y'all didn't pay nobody's rent, but a lot of dudes pay chicks rent. A lot of dudes would put a chick up in a high rise and he married over here and he goes over to the chick and sleeps with her so he won't have to creep around. But so he'll put a woman up in a high rise and pay her rent so he can cheat on his wife. So with that human aspect of being like, I see what Diddy's doing. He's paying her $10,000 a month to do all this other stuff. I never did that, but I know some dudes who did. And so virtually everything that he's being charged for, to a certain degree, other men have done it, other than the pop out, you know, the fighting part. So from a human aspect, Who is going to put a man in prison for buying pussy when we don't buy pussy? None of us are going to do that. So we as men are not going to turn around and put a man in prison for these actual charges. Now, if the charges was, that's a different story, because everybody knows that he did that. But those are not the charges, and that is not what he's in on. Somebody said that's why it's RICO. It's not RICO. Night Owl is not RICO. It's racketeering. It's not RICO. It's racketeering. It's the R in RICO. It's not the I, it's not the C, it's not the O. It's racketeering. And he is guilty of all of the stuff. But that has nothing to do with nothing to a certain degree. So let me play this right here. I got a lot more things to play, and then I'm going to get into what the 4 reasons why Diddy is not going to do a lot of time. Watch this.
I've seen a lot of reports online saying how Diddy should just be let free.
I think on the RICO charge and the federal charges, I am only convinced that he engaged in interstate transportation of prostitutes.
And to a certain degree, put a 1 in the chat, fellas, if you don't flew a woman from one city to yours to smash. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever flew a chick out in specifically to smash. And did you take her out to eat or, share your resources with her when you flew her in? Every last one of us have done that. I'm quick to fly a chick over here. Like, I'm not putting somebody in prison because a man did something, because it's almost like me saying he's guilty for buying pussy or flying a chick in for some ass. That would mean I'm guilty too. But put a 1 in the chat if you've ever flew a chick in. Like, you meet a chick on Instagram, y'all been hitting each other for, in the DMs or whatever. You're like, yo, I want to see you. She like, yo, I want to see you too. You be like, yo, let me fly you in. And she like, cool. Like, who hasn't done that? Nobody's going to put a man in prison for doing something that he himself has done, because that would literally be convicting him of the same shit.
Yes, that's a federal crime, a very.
So let me back this up a little bit. I want y'all to hear the full thing or what Judge Mathis said. And you got to understand, Judge Mathis is not a lawyer. He's a judge. So we hear from lawyers all the time, right? A lot of the people that are speaking on this Diddy trial are lawyers. This is a judge. A judge is totally different than a lawyer. Yeah, us ladies call it flued out. It's common. It's normal. I'm not convicting a man of flying chicks out or flying dudes out when we be flying chicks out. Like, it don't make no sense. Like, from a human nature aspect, it will make me look like, damn, am I guilty too? So I want to back this up.
I've seen a lot of reports online saying how Diddy should just be let free.
I think on the RICO charge and the federal charges, I am only convinced that he engaged in interstate transportation of prostitutes. And yes, that's a federal crime, a very low-level federal crime, which he would be guilty of and sentenced to less than 1 year. On the other hand, you got some state crimes, and the statute of limitation has expired, and that's why they aren't.
The statute of limitations has expired on the state crimes. This is a judge talking, not a lawyer, a judge.
Charging him in state court.
So I got more to talk about, but we're going to get into this.
About how she paid for her attorney, and she actually answered that Diddy pays for her attorney. Does he still pay for?
So let's talk about this for a second. The 4 reasons. One, which is the craziest reason. So the 4 reasons why Diddy will only either do a year in jail, or either he's going to not do any time in jail and just go home after this whole thing. One, after speaking to multiple sources, I'm speaking about myself, after speaking to multiple sources, the government's only hope in successfully prosecuting Diddy is getting a jury of 12 to all say guilty, because every last one of the people on the jury have to say guilty. I'll say it again. If one person in the jury says not guilty, it's a not guilty. Every single person, all 12 people, have to say guilty. That's kind of like playing prize picks or something, and you're trying to win on a bet, and the bet is so like against you, where you like, I know I'm not. You know how when you bet, I forgot the name of it because I don't necessarily bet. There's a handicap, or there's a word for it. What's up, Moeezy? There's a word for it. I forgot what it is. Anybody who bets, what is the word for where it's almost impossible for you to win against this line, but if you win, you win like 5 times your money. Does anybody know what that means? Because I don't bet. I know I don't know if it's called a handicap or something. That's exactly what's going on. So for a jury of 12 to actually say guilty is impossible. A jury of 12 saying Diddy's guilty is impossible with all of the testimony thus far.
Jane Doe was just asked about how she paid for her attorney, and she actually answered that Diddy pays for her attorney. Does he still pay for your attorney today? Yes. So not only is he still paying this woman's rent, he is paying for her attorney.
The people that are literally testifying against Diddy got paid by Diddy. Cassie got what? 20 million from Diddy. And then the Jane Doe is not only getting paid $10,000 a month ongoing. You actually think she's about to go up there and say something disparaging about Diddy when he's still paying her rent and he paying her lawyer fees? Lawyer fees? Are you crazy? That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. Isn't it coercing with him paying for her attorney? Actually, no. That's not bribery. No, it's not. It's not. So let me get to these 4 things. The 4 reasons why Diddy will only do a year in jail or get off and go straight home after the trial. After speaking to multiple sources, the government's only hope of successfully prosecuting Diddy, which is a jury of 12 convicting him, saying guilty, is getting Christina Coram on the stand. And guess what? Christina Coram will not be testifying. I'll say it again. Christina Coram will not be testifying. And without Christina Coram being a co-conspirator, they are not going to say guilty. They're not. They're not. Why did they incriminate him? Possibly because they thought they had enough people, but they literally don't. They literally don't. Okay, that's number 1. Christina Coram is not testifying. 2, the more women that testify, it's apparent that they chose to do all of these things, i.e., these women, whether it's Cassie or whether it's the other woman. And I got video of that here.
During Jane's testimony on the stand, Jane
If you're
Hold
watching.
on.
is still paying her rent for the home that she lives in today, meaning that he is paying for her rent while she is testifying against him in his criminal trial. Let me explain. Jane, who is testifying under a pseudonym that is not her real name, she explained that in early 2023 that Sean Combs presented to her what he called a love contract. She said that this was,
And some of y'all may be familiar with this, but I wanted to play this just in case some of y'all didn't.
was a 2-year contract where he said that he would give her a monthly allowance. She asked for $15,000. He said he would give her $10,000. She said that she spent that monthly allowance on a home for her and her son. And she said that the reason why she agreed to this is because she felt that for the first 2 years of their relationship, that she was giving him everything that he wanted, even though she didn't want it, that being those hotel nights, otherwise known as the freak-offs. Jane said that when she vocalized that she did not want to participate in these freak-offs, that Sean Combs would bring up money, which she perceived as a threat. In fact, I want to read you something that he said to her. We heard a voice note in court, and he said, "You need to get on your job." She then texted him back, quote, "You've been transactional, and it's super disheartening."
This was a job. This was a job. He employed her. She's under contract. A love contract makes Jane Doe a contractor. Do y'all understand that? A love contract means Jane Doe was not a love interest. She was a contractor. If I pay you to do something and I agree to give you a certain amount of money per month, you are a contractor. That's not kidnapping. That's not bribery. That's not buying ass. That's not anything. You're a contractor. All I got to do is give you a job to do. And then on the side, you give me ass. You're a contractor. Let's keep going.
Jane said that she felt like these were threats, and she said that to Sean Combs. Prosecutors are hoping that this proves sex trafficking through fraud, threats, and coercion. Jane will be back.
There's no fraud, there's no threats, and there's no coercion. He said, you're not on your job in a text message. Do your job. I pay you this amount of money to do a job. That's not coercion. She knew exactly why she was there. She just wanted more because women always want more. We can literally sit here and tell a woman straight to her face, yo, I don't want a relationship. This is just going to be sexual. Are you okay with that? She's going to be like, yes. But in the back of her mind, she's going to be like, well, I thought I can change him. I thought at some point he's going to want me. Am I wrong, y'all? Do women talk like that? Yes or no? Drop in the chat. Yes or no? Do women think like that? You'll tell a woman literally what you're here for, and she's going to turn around and say, well, I thought, well, I just feel like, well, it's literally what women do. What's going on, Leroy? Literally what women do. Hey, we're going to do this. And she's going to hear or interpret something different. That's not coercion. Even if a dude be like, yo, I want to be in a relationship with you, and then we just having sex and we never get into a relationship. That's not coercion. At some point, I decided I don't want to be in a relationship with you. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button. I got to get back in the algorithm because I have not done a live in about 2 weeks. So I need everybody watching to hit the thumbs up button and share this video. Facebook. Hit the like button. Facebook. Y'all are not hitting the like button. Facebook. LaRon hit the like button on Facebook. David hit the like button. Mary, Meri. Shout out to you. Medlow hit the like button. Yvette hit the like button. Rudy hit the like button. Belinda hit the like button. The rest of y'all did not hit the like button. So I'm letting y'all know, I know who hit the like button. Some of y'all don't know that. I have a list of people who hit the like button. So the people who have not hit the like button, who are in the chat, I know that you did not hit the like button because you are not on this list of people who hit the like button. So can you please take a second to hit the like button? Because I can see you. Shout out to Devon. Shout out to Thelma. James just hit the like button. Tracy just hit the like button. I can see y'all. So keep hitting the like button and hit the share button. Share the video. Share the video. Okay, so let's get back to it. And I want Diddy to go to prison, y'all. I don't want Diddy to go free, just for the record.
Back on the stand on Monday.
He only paid her $10,000 a month. And to some people, that's a lot of money. But if you think about what both of these women, Cassie and Jane Doe, put themselves through with all of these freak-offs, she would have to sleep with 3 dudes all in one day and then turn around and have to sleep with Puffy also. All of this for $10,000? I'm not going to say $10,000 isn't money, but where Jane Doe came from is not a lot of money. And when I say Jane Doe, where she came from, she dated somebody else. And I'm not going to put out Jane Doe's name, but in the comments, who is Jane Doe, y'all? Some of y'all know who Jane Doe is, and some of y'all know who Jane Doe's baby daddy is. When you look at who Jane Doe's baby daddy is, a famous person, what she possibly could have been getting from him. So right here, Blank, which is the baby daddy, initially paid Jane Doe $40,000 per month on child support, which was later reduced to $6,700 a month. That is the reason why Jane Doe can't or does not want to leave Diddy alone, because she's broke. In child support, why would she go through all of this for just $10,000? So why would $10,000 cause her to do all of this stuff? The second thing that stands out to me, somewhat like Cassie, but I want to look at Jane Doe as an individual and not just the women of... What's up, June? Diddy. She wanted to be with Diddy. She wanted to be special, just like Cassie did. Just like Cassie. Somewhat like Cassie, but different, because Cassie went through way more terrible things than Jane Doe did. Oh, and by the way, this woman allegedly was with Diddy for like 4 years. So she wasn't just some random chick. They were doing these freak-offs for $10,000 a month for 4 years or up to 4 years. Cassie endured this 12 to 13 years. I'm looking at a pattern. Until Christina Coram actually takes the stand as a co-conspirator, which she is not. She is not coming. These women, whether it's Jane Doe or Cassie, they both seem like, and to a certain degree said, they still love Diddy. Remember, this woman right here literally said that Diddy is still paying her rent.
Jane said that Sean Combs is still paying her rent for the home that she lives in today, meaning that he is paying for her rent while she is testifying against him in his criminal trial.
And then with Cassie, Diddy gave her $30 million. Neither one of these women have verbally said anything that would put Diddy in prison. But this man is literally paying both of these women to a certain degree to take up for him. And here's the actual pattern that I see. Diddy is very charming, and women get with Diddy wanting to be his wife, and they are willing to do anything imaginable to be that. But none of these women are able to be that. And they stay with him for years and years and years, hoping that one day he actually picks her. These women wanted to be his woman, wanted to be special, wanted to be his wife, and they would do anything to have that. Anything. So when it comes to Cassie, Diddy did some horrendous things to her. We can say there's Stockholm syndrome there, and we can easily say, and I'm not going to argue with the fact that she couldn't leave. I understand that. But throughout the whole process of not being able to leave, there still was a certain amount of hope that Diddy picked her. Now, going to Jane Doe, it's the same exact thing. And this is the actual pattern. Jane Doe, as well as Cassie, were with men before Diddy that were famous, had money. Cassie was with Ryan Leslie. She became famous with Ryan. Next thing you know, she's seen Diddy across the table, and she's like, that man across the table can literally make my dreams come true. And then you look at Jane Doe, even though she was with somebody famous, kind of like with Cassie, he isn't going to give her anything. Her baby daddy is a dude that just runs through women and gets rid of them. He ain't finna try to make you famous. He'll probably give you some money, but he's not going to wife you. Her baby. See, the thing about Diddy is going to have you at the Met Gala. Diddy is going to have you on his arm. Diddy is going to do videos with you. Diddy is going to do selfies with you. Her baby daddy ain't doing none of that stuff. So Diddy will literally make you famous. That's the difference between Diddy and her ex. That's the biggest difference that I need y'all to understand. Daddy doesn't wife anybody. So there was no hope of her baby daddy actually picking her or marrying her, because he don't ran through every beautiful woman on the planet. If you know who her baby daddy is, he ain't wifing nobody. But Diddy is a family man. Diddy is a bigger mogul than her baby daddy is. Jane Doe looked at Diddy as, he can make my dreams come true, just like Cassie felt. Real quick, it wasn't coercion, it was codependency. Shout out to Wendy. It wasn't coercion, it's codependency. And he is not on trial for codependency. He's not on trial for narcissism. Codependency is not a federal offense. That's literally what's going on here. He found a bunch of codependent women who need Diddy for whatever reason, and he took advantage of them and, beat them up. But other than that, he's not on trial for that. Her baby daddy ain't trying to make nobody's dreams come true. We finna do this, we finna do that, and I'm gonna get rid of you. And he's been like this all his life. But Diddy, he's different. One, he can make you a star. Two, he's a bigger mogul than anybody else. And three, he's this lovable, I want to be with you type of person. So he tells women that I want to be with you. I love you. I this, I that. So to a certain degree, these women actually felt like they can get exactly what they wanted from Diddy as long as they give him what he wants, which is the freak offs. And
Facts.
with this comes a certain amount of entitlement. So I need y'all to listen to what I'm about to say in this video. The entitlement. What I'm about to say right here is going to blow y'all's mind. Listen to this. Everybody listen. Drop popcorn emojis in the chat. Everybody drop popcorn emojis in the chat. Drop popcorn emojis in the chat. Because what I'm about to say right here is about to blow your freaking mind. Everybody hit the like button and and drop popcorn emojis in the chat. Listen to this. And with this entitlement, they get to the point where they feel like, I've done so much stuff. I've put my body through so much. I've done all of these things for him. See, Jane Doe's baby daddy or Ryan Leslie did not put these women through so much. See, psychologically, the average woman actually wants more the more they endure. And when I mean once more, I don't mean once more abuse. You want the guy to give you back something, because women are very reciprocal creatures. Everything you give us, you want back. So when I say want more, I mean want more from the man. I'll say it again. The average woman wants more the more they endure. So when you put a woman through a lot, she actually feels like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. She feels like, I went through this, I went through this, I went through this. I'm not giving up because I almost made it. I deserve more because of what I endured. I want y'all to think about this. How many women, we're looking at Cassie, these other women, right? Why did they stay so long, right? He was doing all these different things to her, right? The more heinous things Diddy did to Cassie and the Jane Doe, the more they felt like, okay, if I get through this, I'm going to get them. I've come way too far to back out now. How many of y'all put a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard a woman say, I want to leave, but I invested so much? Or either she'll say, I don't want to start over because I've been here for so long. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard a woman say that. They'll either say, I've invested so much for me to just leave now, or they'll say, I don't want to start over because I've been here so long. It's not about the abuse. It's about women just operating like women. All y'all do the same dumb shit. You'll stay with a dude for 5 more years simply because your ass don't want to start over. Or you feel like you invested so much and you stay. Ain't nobody made these damn people stay. This wasn't coercion. This is woman shit. So the more Diddy puts them through, the more they feel like they deserve. Because they're like, yo, I'm not leaving until I get what I want. I've given you what you wanted. I've allowed you to do this to me. You put me in the hospital. You made me do this. You made me do that. I deserve you. And it causes them to stay because of what they went through. Because personally, I didn't grow up around pimps, but I knew pimps, and they actually would brag about how the more he put them through, the more the women loved him. And I would be like, why? I don't understand. You put a woman through all this, wouldn't that make them want to leave? He said, no, that's not the psychology of a woman. The more a woman goes through, the stronger she thinks she is. And that strength, well, I would say dysfunctional strength, puts them in a position where they feel like, yo, I can go through all of this and not lose my life, not lose my sanity. Wow, I'm strong. Yep. And the stronger a woman feels, the more powerful she thinks she is. And in a roundabout way, she wants more. And I'm not saying women want something, but she needs to go through more of this. She now needs more evidence of abuse, of strength. So I just want to make sure y'all understand that part right there. The more he, whoops her ass, she feels like in a Tyler Perry movie. Like, I just watched the stupid ass Tyler Perry movie, Straw, right? That's almost every woman's story. Oh, this happened, and then all that happened. And then the more you go through, especially, I'm a single mom, you add that to it. Not saying Cassie was, but all of the stupid shit that you go through as a woman makes you feel like you're strong and resilient. Put a 1 in the chat. You seen the movie Straw. It was stupid. If you have not seen it, don't go watch it. Fuck Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry's trash. But put a 1 in the chat if you've seen Straw. It was the dumbest movie, well, one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen. But it's the same black woman bullshit, right? So when a woman gets abused, when a woman gets manipulated, when a woman becomes a single mother, when a woman loses her job, when a woman gets put out, when a woman goes through all this shit, it makes her feel like, I can conquer anything. I'm strong. And then what ends up happening is, moving forward, she actually subconsciously needs more dumb shit to happen, or need to go through more abuse, or need to go through more manipulation in order to prove that she's still strong. So she needs evidence of her strength and resilience by going through more bullshit. Because these women are literally living a Tyler Perry movie. Like, if you listen to all these stupid ass women talking about the Tyler Perry movie on TikTok, they're like, oh my God, I felt her. Oh my God, she was so strong. No, the hell she wasn't. She was stupid. She was poor. She was putting her child, she couldn't bathe her child. And I don't want to go off on a tangent, but these women run around finding or looking for evidence of strife, problems, in order to prove to herself how strong she is. So women get with men like Diddy to prove something in her mind that she can survive it. Women love being a survivor of some shit. Women love saying they're a survivor of whatever. Like, I beat cancer. I don't run around saying I'm a cancer survivor because I think it's stupid. The verbiage is stupid. I don't want to be no perennial victim. So a woman is a perennial victim when they survived Diddy, survived their ex-boyfriend, survived their marriage. So they look for evidence to be a survivor of it. So to a certain degree, they almost want to go through some shit. So that's what I'm saying right here. In order to get the prize, in order to get the trophy, it's almost like with men in sports. We don't want to just win a couple games. We don't want to just go to the Pro Bowl. We don't just want to win in the playoffs. We want to win a Super Bowl. And until I win the Super Bowl, I'm not worthy and I'm not a woman. So all of this is just my interpretation of what I'm seeing. The freak offs, the abuse to a certain degree, maybe like enduring the ups and downs of the first 10 games of a football season. But then you get to the point where you're like, yo, I don't had all these injuries. My ribs hurt. My back hurts. I got a broken fibula. But what does that football player say? I can't let my team down. And that's what they say about Diddy. That's why they say, like, it was a time where they said that Diddy went so crazy where he threw Cassie against a bed frame and then she busted her head open and it was blood everywhere. And Diddy literally just shoot her away. Just go take her and to a plastic surgeon. And she was like, they said it was blood everywhere. So it wasn't just a gash. It was like she could have died, right? She comes right back to Diddy. And then there's another scenario, and y'all already heard, where a woman got held over a goddamn 17-foot apartment building, dangling her by her boobies, and then threw her against the wall like she's in an action movie, and she comes right back to the next Diddy party. The balcony. Yeah, like, what are we talking about? And I want Diddy to go to prison. I got to keep reiterating that. Which is Diddy. I got to play through the pain. I don't care if I went to the hospital. I don't care how many freak offs I got to do. I got to win the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl is the ring. And think about it. If you get a ring from Diddy and Diddy marries you, you surpass Kim Porter. You surpass every other woman that Diddy has ever been with. That is why I think these women stayed. And with all that being said, there's a side of them that wanted to stay no matter what they went through, because there's a certain amount of entitlement that goes along with a woman that endures a lot of pain. You owe me because of the pain you put me through. So I'm not leaving until you give me what I owe. That is female nature. That is a specific reason why women do not leave abusive relationships, because they're like, because you abuse me, you now got to marry me. The more pain and heartache a woman goes through, the more she thinks she deserves at the end. And to a certain degree, women do not like quitting. You know what they say? Oh, we got to see this thing out, my boy. They got to see this whole thing out all the way till the end, even if it kills them. If this trial actually ended today and there's no more witnesses, which I know is going to be more witnesses, Diddy is not going to do any time, because if one person says Diddy is innocent, he walks. Every single person on that jury has to say guilty. But let me know what y'all think in the comments.
Hey, how about we meet up at a coffee shop and play this fun dating card game?
All right, I'm still here. I will play the commercial, but I don't want y'all to think the video's over. So I'll play the commercial in a minute, but I don't want it to go off like that because y'all gonna think it's over. All right, so number one, 4 reasons why Diddy is not going to jail. Christina Quorum is not testifying. 2, the more women that testify is becoming apparent that this is a consensual situation. Number 3, there were talks about the secret. Where are all the talks about the secret tunnels? Where are the talks about the tadpoles? You know, I'm using the word tadpoles, you know, and instead of, you know, we have kids, right? We all have kids. I'll say that. So I'm using the word tadpole for we all have kids. So I don't want to. So where are the talks about the tunnels? Where are the talks about the tadpoles? Where are the talks about the GHB and the numbing agents? Where are the talks about the GHB causing people to forget? Do y'all know how many videos that we actually have went over just on my channel where he gave a little boy an opportunity to get an acting gig and gave him a Coca-Cola, and next thing you know, hold on, I gotta say a bunch of words, so YouTube, so I'm just gonna say a whole bunch of gibberish and then come back to what I said. So stay with me because I need YouTube to not block my channel. So went to the store and bought a sandwich, and I came back and ate the sandwich. All right, so go back to what I said. Hope y'all understand what I'm doing because I don't want YouTube to block my video. Then he ends up knocked out. And do y'all remember that? It was in Atlanta. And I'm like, where's that? We heard so many videos. I mean, we heard so many things about the tadpoles. We heard so many things about the tunnels. And what is the girl's name? Allie Carter. Where's Allie Carter? Why is Allie Carter not testifying? Why is every person that's testifying like Diddy's ex-girlfriend? What about all these actual victims? Where the hell is Allie Carter? And the damn tunnels. My tunnel video got 1 million views. Was it wrong? What about the GHB being in the baby oil? What? So that's another thing why he's not, because the specific reason why we all thought Diddy was going to jail and prison was because of the tunnels, the Allie Carter stuff, the other tadpoles, the GHB, the numbing agents, all this stuff. And where is it? And number 4, if Diddy recorded, and this came from Wendy, shout out to Wendy. I want y'all to think about this because this blew my mind when Wendy told me. If Diddy recorded these freak-offs, which he did, if Diddy recorded these freak-offs and was not in the freak-offs, remember, Diddy would have a woman, he would put her on contract as a contractor, he would pay the woman to sleep with men that he paid for, put it on a camera, right? What is that called? He's a producer of corn. That's not illegal. So all they really have to do is say, I paid the girl, I paid the guy, they had sex, not me. They had sex. I'm over in the corner with the camera. I'm a producer. And all they really have to say is, I compiled all of this footage in order to be able to sell it to a conglomerate. And we were going to be the new corn hub. This is just simply corn. This is not illegal. Think about it. Diddy was not having sex with a girl. He'd be in another room watching it on TV. So there was videos, there was cameras. He was in another room. He paid this person, put her on contract. This is corn. He's a corn producer. That's all he really has to say. I wanted to compile months and months and months of footage, and I'm going to sell it to a company, and they're going to be the direct competition to Cornhub. And the reason why I haven't done it yet is because I haven't found a company that is ready or is able to go head to head with Cornhub because they're so big. But I got all this footage that y'all got from my, mansions. I ain't did nothing with the footage yet because I ain't found nobody to sell it to yet. I'm a corn producer. That is why Diddy is not going to do no damn time. Now, will he do time for bribery or some lower level stuff? Yes. And that's why I say he's only going to do a year in jail, because he's going to get time served because he's been in jail for almost a year. And then he's going to get another year in jail. And then he's going to have like 10 years probation. Say yes or no in the chat if you agree with me. If you agree with me or disagree with me, say yes or no, or either I agree with what you said or I disagree with what you said. And this came from Wendy. Wendy said this. Drop in the comments. Do you agree or do you disagree? Because this is simply corn. That's it. He's a corn producer. All right, let's keep going.
I'm tired. You can't even make it to the 2 years. Jane Doe was just asked about how she paid for her attorney, and she actually answered that Diddy pays for her attorney. Does he still pay for your attorney today? Yes. So not only is he still paying this woman's rent, he is paying for her attorney. What did you write? I said, I'm tired. You can't even make it to the 2 years without bringing it up to me. What did Sean say here? Bear, my colleague. I said, I hate living in fear. The roof over my head was just going to come off. Talking about the house Diddy pays for. I asked, did you tell Robin? That's his accountant. To cut it off, he said, you make your own money. Did he continue to pay your rent? Yes, he kept paying. Did you learn his houses were searched? Yes, an HSI came to my house. Who hired you an attorney? Sean. Is Sean still paying for your lawyer now? Yes. Did you talk to Sly after the 2024 searches? Yes, he called and said he had a tape and he intended to release it bit by bit on the dark web. I asked Sly how he got the video. He said that Sean picked up his phone and recorded with it. I asked Sly Cabral how much he wanted. He said $10,000. I told Sean Cabral just tried to extort me. Sean was crying. What did he say? Get legal on it.
Yes. Where were the tadpoles? We heard a lot of talk about them. I done made so many videos about Ali Carter and Jaguar Wright and all this stuff. And none of it is showing up in court. See, when you go to court, whether it's a lawsuit or a criminal investigation, they have discovery. They see everything. They see every cell phone text. They see everything that you deleted. They see everything. But there's no tadpoles. And y'all do know what I mean when I say tadpoles, right? I don't want to lose nobody. The people who usually watch, they know what I mean by tadpoles. But where are the tadpoles? Because I want y'all to think about this. As much as Diddy be filming shit, do you know if Diddy filmed a tadpole, that in itself is a federal crime? because it would be tadpole filming. I don't want to say actual offense. Y'all know what I mean, right? When you film a tadpole doing something, that is a federal offense. If that is just on if that's just on your your computer, do you know how many weirdo PDF files are in prison simply because they filmed PDF fileism on their computer? That alone would put Diddy in prison. So he's running around filming all this shit, and there's no tadpoles? This whole thing was a waste of time.
Did you speak with Cabral? Yes. I told him this was extortion and I would not talk with him. Then a media company called me and said they bought the tape, and did I have a comment? I fainted. We had to control the situation. Did the media company ever publish the video? No. Do you know why? No. Then the hotel video of Sean and Cassie came out. I was with Sean in Miami. How did you first learn of that video? There was a knock on the door. Sean was called out. I went down and everyone was talking. It was a 2-star. What happened? Sean was huddled with his team and his family. I was just trying to give everyone space. Later we had huddled. His sons were involved. Huddle for what? To come up with an apology. He showed me on draft what he would say on his social media. Did you read it? He addressed Cassie by name in the draft I saw. I felt it was more heartfelt. I thought it was good enough. Everybody remember the famous IG video Diddy released? I'm sorry.
I think Diddy might know us. I don't know, maybe. So I'm just gonna explain. Usually, Sean Combs will do this thing where he does a sweep of the press pews when he first walks into the courtroom.
This right here is scary because Diddy is letting all these people who don't travel to New York to sit in there and report on the trial. You know, Armand Wiggins. Who else is in the trial, y'all? Tisa Tales. Who else? Who else is at the trial in the room? Diddy is literally looking at them saying, I see you. So if he gets off and if Diddy gets off and he knows exactly who you are because you sitting there, this can get weird. Yeah, Mims is there. Red Wine, the young lady that I had that I was playing earlier. Stephanie, everybody is there. And Diddy is like this. I see you. Let this nigga get off. It may be, I ain't gonna say it.
He's like hugging his attorneys. He'll look to the public side, which is on his right, and then we're kind of diagonal from him. And he oftentimes, since more of his supporters are coming to the courtroom these days, he'll shoot them little hand hearts. He'll put his hand to his chest. He'll mouth thank you. And then the press pews, we get a simple glance over and sometimes a nod. Now, clearly, this stands out to both my researcher and I really strongly because on Thursday, we even write the time down, at 8:50 a.m., jurors are not in the courtroom. Sean Combs sits down at his chair and he turns in his chair to the right. This is our eye direction. Like, we can see him now. He starts staring in what felt like in our general direction or perhaps right behind us. And it's a pretty lengthy stare. And then he starts nodding while mouthing the words dramatically, I know you. He mouths it twice with what we perceive to be a smirk. Then as he's turning back around to face the front, he's like ever so slightly shaking his head while he's still smirking. But again, I'm not trying to be dramatic. I don't know if he was looking at me. He could have been looking behind me, right? But then right at that moment, the jury comes in, we all stand up, and as there's noise in the courtroom, because we're not allowed to talk when the judge is on the bench, a reporter from a major media network, I mean, she's been doing this for years and years. She's like a professional. She turns to me and she whispers, quote, you're putting that in your video, right? Because that was at least 7 seconds. So my researcher and I, we both felt it was weird. We both wrote it down independently in our notes in the courtroom. We talked about it after, and we're like, you know what? We can't be sure. We don't want to be dramatic. Then it happens again on Friday, a week later. So on Friday.
Whoa. Hold on. Wendy says, so I looked at her old videos. He watched her prior. What do you mean, Wendy? What does this comment mean? So I looked at her old videos. He watched her prior. Watched her. What do you mean? Can you explain? What's up, Brown Sugar? What do you mean he watched her prior? Wendy, what does that mean? What, he liked her videos? What, he commented under her videos or something? What do you mean? Yeah, look, she's got older. What does he looked at her before? What do you mean?
There's this moment where there's a sidebar. Sean Combs' attorneys are near the front of the courtroom with the judge, and regardless, the jurors are still sitting on the side. Sean Combs turns around, and then he talks to his mom, and then he's smiling, nodding at her. He's like mouthing, "I love you." And then my neck is tilted still because I'm observing him, and I'm taking notes about him talking to his mom during this sidebar. And as he's making his turn back to the front, it felt like we make awkward eye contact. And I say awkward to the point where I'm like, you know when it's so awkward, you almost like instinctively smile or look down because you're like, oh, I just got caught staring at something.
Okay, yeah, look at her old videos. That's how he watched her before jail. I still don't understand. Can you explain to me how he watched her before they were in trial? Because he can see her now because they're in trial. Can you explain to me how he sees her, did see her, or was watching her, and they're not in trial? Were they walking down the street? Was he following her? Was he watching her videos? That's my question. They're in trial, so he can see her now. How was he able to see or watch her before being in trial with the person? That's the question.
That was the feeling. It was like, oh, I literally just got caught staring.
What's up to you?
Him down, and he starts rubbing his chin with his left hand and mouths what appears to seem like, "I know you, I know you." And this time it seemed more pronounced because as he's rubbing his chin with his left hand, he does like a slight index point. It's not like a point. He's not pointing his finger, but it's kind of like a hand gesture, like, "I know you," like kind of like you, like almost pointing at you, whoever you is. Then he turns to the front. And it was just so odd. It was just weird. And again, he knows us, he doesn't know us. Does it really matter? I don't think so. But I did.
It matters because that nigga getting out. That nigga is getting out. So it does matter. This nigga gonna be like Jason Voorhees on y'all asses.
I did almost pee myself. Like, that's all I'm trying to say.
Hey guys, so the jury just heard this incredible recording. Sean Combs called Jane on November 19th, 2023. Why is that date important?
Whoa. Okay, hold on. I want to go back to this video. Okay. So Wendy is saying this. The diddler watched Rotten Mango and her stories before he went to jail. So I guess the girl's name is Rotten Mango, Wendy, because I don't know her name. Okay. So what y'all are saying, what Wendy is saying is Diddy was in her stories. Can you imagine? You posting in your stories and Diddy is in there? Yo, if Diddy was in my stories, I would be scared as hell. Is that what you're saying, Wendy? Diddy was watching her stories? Yo.
That's 3 days after Cassie Ventura filed her explosive civil lawsuit. Jane said
Pee myself. Like, that's all I'm trying to say.
Hey guys, so the jury just heard this incredible recording. Sean Combs called.
What's up, Pam?
Called Jane on November 19th, 2023. Why?
So November 19th, 2023. Listen to this. Check the dates.
Why is that date important? That's 3 days after Cassie Ventura filed her explosive civil lawsuit.
So 3 days after Cassie filed the lawsuit, Diddy immediately called Jane Doe. I'm just trying to keep you up on what's going on. So you want to know why Diddy is paying Jane Doe's rent from jail? You want to know why Diddy paid for Jane Doe's lawyer? It's because of this. He called her and was like, yo, I just need you to know something is going down. I'm going to pay your rent for the rest of the year. And if you got to go to court, I'm going to pay your lawyer fees. You know why I'm doing this, right? Yes, I know why. You got my back, right? Yes. I told you in the last 2 lives I did. Cassie and Jane Doe and the other woman, they're all working with Diddy.
Jane said she read the whole thing, all 35 pages, and she said she felt like she was reading her own story, her own sexual trauma, she testified. Then Sean Combs calls, and the recording was pulled off of a phone that prosecutors said they seized from Combs's chief of staff, Christina Coram. Jane testified she did not know she was being recorded. But there's Sean Combs telling Jane, we need to get through this together. There was a subsequent phone call 22 minutes later where Sean Combs tells Jane, I need your friendship. And Jane starts to tell him how she felt about this lawsuit and being made to participate in these hotel nights with other men, what Cassie Ventura recalled as freak-offs, but what she called hotel nights. And Sean Combs interrupted, would not let her speak about it, and just said, I need your friendship. You won't need to worry about anything. And Jane testified by that she felt Sean Combs meant paying her rent.
Money.
Jane dated Diddy from 2021 to 2024 and said she felt like a sex worker in her own relationship because of the freak-offs, and testified about a nasty fight they had that turned physical. She claimed that they broke up in March of 2024. She last saw him in August of that year, but continued to communicate until his arrest in November. After his homes were raided, Diddy hired a lawyer for Jane and continues to pay for it, as well as paying her rent from behind bars. When asked about how she feels about Diddy now, Jane told the jury, quote, I pray for his continued healing and I pray for peace for him. Also,
see, it's the same shit that Cassie said. They're still praying for him. These women still love Diddy. They still love Diddy.
over the weekend, Diddy's team filed a motion for a mistrial, claiming the prosecution knowingly presented false testimony to the court. Last week, Cassie's friend Brianna Bungolan testified that Diddy dangled her over a 17th floor balcony in Los Angeles.
And I want y'all to think about this. There's a possibility that Cassie lied about seeing this happen on purpose, and this Bongola girl lied about it happening, and they both lying about it, knowing that Diddy was in on the East Coast on that same date on purpose. So the Mongolian girl, whatever the hell her name is, she's lying also. So all three women are conspiring to literally cause a mistrial by like putting all kinds of wrong information out there, knowing that the next person that takes the stand is going to go against what the other person, they're like, wait, she said this. What's happening? They're trying to cause a hung jury. Do y'all see what I'm saying here? All three of these women are lying on purpose in order to get a mistrial.
False testimony to the court. Last week, Cassie's friend Brianna Bungolan testified that Diddy dangled her over a 17th floor balcony in Los Angeles in September of 2016. But Diddy's team presented evidence that showed Diddy was in New York at the time of the alleged incident.
She said that on purpose.
Defense claims that the prosecution knew this information and presented the testimony anyway. The judge said he'll address the mistrial motion on Tuesday.
And she said something that I thought was very curious, because remember, there's a criminal investigation happening. At this point, Combs knows that. She says Combs offered her an ecstasy pill. She said she didn't want to take it. Combs forced her to take it, and then said something to the effect of, is this coercion? And that's such a statement to make, because literally one of the charges is sex trafficking by fraud, force, or coercion.
Because they were still doing freak-offs after he went to jail. They were still doing freak-offs after he went to jail. So he asked her, like, so is this coercion? He gave her an ecstasy pill and was like, so is this coercion? Wink, wink.
So, you know, there's so many things that happened today that I think just had the jurors and the reporters and sort of everybody wondering, like, when does it stop or when does it end?
So I want y'all to think about this. Let's look at some dates. Diddy's house got raided March 2024. Diddy's house got raided March 2024. He kept doing freak-offs with Jane Doe all the way up to mid-August. Diddy got arrested September 16th, 2024. So remember, his house got raided in March. So he's still with the girl, and he whispers in her ear, so is this coercion? Like as a joke. So he knows everything that's about to happen. So all of this testimony may put Diddy in a position where he can simply say he was a drug addict and as well as a sex addict, and he just needs like help. And on top of that, since being in jail, he's learning to live without sex and live without drugs for the first time in his life since being a teenager. Think about that. All this testimony could be putting Diddy in a position where he's like, yo, I've been an addict all this time and I didn't know it. But now that I'm in jail and I'm not having sex with women, I'm not having freak offs, and I don't have access to drugs, my mind is clear for the first time. Y'all got to understand, jail and prison is literally rehabilitation. Jail is literally rehabilitation. You go to jail to rehabilitate. It's literally a rehab place. You go to jail so you stop doing the things that you was doing out there so you can learn your lesson. You become a Muslim, you start reading the Bible, all this other shit. So him being in jail puts him in a position where he can prove to the court where, like, since I was a teenager, I never had this amount of clarity ever in my life. My mom did this to me. My mom had me doing freak offs and all this other stuff because, you know, that came out. But now, so I've been like this since I was a teenager. My mom was a call girl. My mom was selling ass and bringing the tricks to the house. This is all I've known since a teenager. I'm clean after 25 years. Thank you to the government. I don't need to go to prison. I just needed to go to jail for a year. So give me one more year in prison to make sure, you know, I stay off drugs, put me in a rehabilitation center for like another year. And that's it. Put me on probation and I'm done. Jail is rehabilitation. I am now rehabilitated. Give me counseling. Give me what do you call it? Anger management. That's it. Get me off drugs. Give me anger management counseling. Let me sit down with a woman and get her to teach me how to treat women better, because I'm this lover boy. I love women. I'm a family man, but in my mind, I thought bow, 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 bow was how you show love. Because every time I bow, 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 these women, they come right back. So I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. But show me another way and just put me on probation and I won't do it anymore. That's literally what's about to happen.
Again, the prosecution kept asking Jane, okay, so June, that horrible incident happens. Was that the last time you saw him? And she's like, no. Then I saw him in July and there was another escort. And then I saw him in August and there was another escort. And then I was on my way to see him in September, but he was arrested.
Remember the dates.
And there's just, it's very layered because you have someone who is saying, listen, I'm a victim.
Right here. Listen to her tone of voice. Listen to this woman's tone of voice. If she was on the jury, I'm asking y'all right now, by the tone of her voice, if she was a juror, would she say Diddy is guilty or not guilty? Comment in the drop a comment right now. Give me your answer in the comments right real quick. As we play her talking, her looking down, her feeling like, I don't understand. Tell me in the comments, would she say he is guilty or innocent if she was a juror? I'm going to play some more of it. But tell me in the comments, y'all. Listen to her. Look at her body language. She doesn't think he's guilty. Comment, y'all. Say guilty or innocent in the comments.
And the reporters and sort of everybody wondering, like, when does it stop or when does it end? Again, the prosecution kept asking.
Look at her body language. She's just like, I just don't understand what's going on. Like,
Jane, okay, so June, that horrible incident happens. Was that the last time you saw him? And she's like, no. Then I saw him in July, and there was another escort. And then I saw him in August, and there was another escort. And then I was on my way to see him in September, but he was arrested. And there's just, it's very layered because you have.
She kept going back to see him in September. So how are all these women coerced and bribed and all this other stuff? She's looking for him. He's in prison. She's literally looking for him. She's calling his phone. She's going to his suite or whatever. Like, hey, where Diddy at? Oh, he in jail. Huh? He in jail. He's in jail? Yeah, she looks disappointed. Yes, she looks extremely like the air has been like deflated. She looks deflated. She looks like, it's like, why are we here? Like all of this, because you got to understand, a lot of these people don't live in New York. They travel to New York. They're literally in New York in Airbnbs and shit, hoping to see Diddy go down. And everybody's just, they're deflated. They're just like, where are all the tunnels? Where's Ali Carter? The women are saying they're looking for him and he's in jail. How are they forced against their will? These women are not victims. They're looking for him. And how can a victim be looking for you? I never in my life heard a victim looking for him. Not gonna, oh, he in jail. Oh man, they locked him up. Yeah. Oh, damn. And you're a victim? She looks so confused.
Someone who is saying, listen, I'm a victim. But we learned too that this person has legal representation because of Combs. Combs is paying for the legal representation according to Jane. Combs is still paying her,
this is bad,
$10,000 a month. We learned today that Jane has been in therapy for the last 3 months. This is Jane's testimony, so we have yet to hear from the defense in terms of how they will cross-examine her.
Now, what's interesting, after that night, she does say she goes back to him the next week, and this is a pattern that continues. She says up through August, that is when they had their last sexual encounter with another entertainer, as she puts it. Now, her going back and continually going back to him, we heard this with Cassie, and there was all the debate about whether she should have just left him.
Exactly. She looks disappointed. She sounds disappointed. Y'all got to understand, that woman is in the courtroom. She's in the courtroom and she's just like, what the fuck are we doing? He's going to get off.
Now, she's saying she's going back because she loved him and that's what she, wanted to be with him. But every time she goes back, she says she ends up having another one of these sexual encounters with other men that she didn't really want to have. That's what she's said all along. She does admit this as well, that even though she went back to Diddy every time, what would end up happening, and she described at least 2 occasions where they would be together, she would take ecstasy, he would give her either a pill or sometimes it was in liquid form, and that she would then suddenly, in one case, she said she missed one of the entertainers. She turned to Diddy after taking the ecstasy and said, I miss Paul. And he says, you want to get him over here? And he calls up Paul. They get Paul there. There's another time
I miss Paul. I never heard of a victim say, I miss Paul. I miss Paul. She wants to be there. Cassie was saying the same shit. Cassie's Texas was like, I can't wait to have another freak off. Like, what are we doing here?
And they flew someone in, Don, that she missed. So she is asking him, she's, according to her own testimony, initiating these instances where they are having these sexual encounters, which she said she didn't want to have, but yet she's initiating it. I would think that she's going to say the ecstasy had something to do with that. I don't know, but that is going to be critical when she is cross-examined, because this is really about whether or not Diddy was sex trafficking Jane. This isn't really about the RICO charge so much, as far as we've heard so far. It's not about that. This is about the sex trafficking. It's also about transporting individuals for purposes of prostitution. There have been...
And altogether, transporting people, that's him being a corn with a C producer. He's just producing videos. He's just compiling footage. Like, y'all got to understand, every woman said, well, the two women said, the freak offs would last 3 days in a row. That's a job. And they're filming all this shit. This is work for them. These are independent contractors.
Several times that she has mentioned them doing that, flying people in for these sexual encounters. So the sex trafficking part, though, that's got to be coercion. And there is even a moment where she says that Diddy used the word, this was in the summer of 2024, that Diddy used the word coercion. She said she didn't want to do a sexual act with one of these men. And then she took the ecstasy, and Diddy asked her, according to her, is this coercion? And interestingly, after he asked that, she still went
she said no
through with the sexual act with this other man. So cross-examination.
Reread this. Oh, girl says, I said, you knew I would finish strong. Pep talks to keep me performing.
And old girl is Jane Doe. Jane Doe is old girl.
No, I was consenting. Like you said, you didn't know. I didn't want it. This is my truth. I love you very much.
You didn't know I didn't want it. She didn't want to do it, but he didn't know I didn't want to do it because I wanted to do it because you wanted to do it. So I didn't want to do it, but I wanted to do it because you wanted to do it. But you didn't know that I didn't want to do it. Do y'all hear this? This is not coercion.
I need to take a pause. Y'all, why are we here? She just said, I know I was consenting. You didn't know I didn't want it. This is my truth. Why are we here? Somebody help me. She used the word consent. Yes, she used.
Shout out to attorney Simone Redwine.
The word consent. Someone that says the feds forced her to testify. Someone said the feds forced her to testify. Must have. I think they must have. And I think that was foolish. But I still have a slight.
Hella foolish. Because every person that they put on his stand proves that Diddy didn't do none of this shit. Every person they get on stand is proving Diddy like as he got good sex, or the women like him, or he's fun to be around. He's a nice person. Something. That's all they proving.
Theory, y'all. I have a theory that maybe Diddy wanted her to testify so that it would throw everything off, as it seems to be doing right now. Basically, go in, be your nice, sweet self, testify to this ridiculous argument, and increase the likelihood that a jury will say not guilty to both of the counts.
That's it. And then this.
I've seen a lot of reports online saying how Diddy should just be let free.
I think on the RICO charge and the federal charges, I am only convinced that he engaged in interstate transportation of prostitutes. And yes, that's a federal crime, a very low-level federal crime in which he would be guilty of.
See, I'm telling y'all now, they're going to say he's not guilty. That's the first thing. But for in some way, if he takes a plea, the offer that they're going to give them, because the thing about it is, just like with the RICO case from Young Thug, the reason why he took a plea is because it was about to be a hung jury. And they immediately just went to him. That's the reason why I'm saying it's going to be a plea deal at the last second, because the government needs to get a guilty verdict. Y'all got to understand, the government, the federal government, has a 98% conviction rate. And the conviction rate is not trials. It is what? Plea deals. So they're going to go to Diddy and say, hey, here's a plea deal. All you got to do is do 1 year in prison because you got time served. And then you're going to do 1 year in rehab and then 10 years probation. And Diddy's going to take it because they're going to get so close to Diddy getting like just let go, where they're going to be like, we got to get something. And the something has to be so favorable, because some of y'all like, if he's guilty, y'all got to understand, the government does not want to lose. So they're going to give him some dumb shit just so he can plead guilty, because he's not going to jail off of this shit. They have to give him something in order for their ego to stay intact. That's how they get their 90% conviction rates, because every single person gets a plea deal. These damn people getting federal indictments ain't doing 20 years in prison. No. Young Thug was supposed to get 20 to life. They went to him at the last minute because it was about to be a hung jury, just so they can get a guilty conviction. And they got to give you something so easy, so sappy, where it's just like, all right, I'll take it. So you wonder why I'm saying only 1 year, because it's 1 year or continue trial and you get free. They got to get you on something. He's going to do 1 year in prison plus time served and another year in a rehab facility and then 10 years probation. Just like Young Thug. Young Thug was just at the BET Awards, hanging out, having a ball with Mariah the Scientist. Young Thug went to the BET Awards with Mariah the Scientist. He's living his best goddamn life. He was just in trial. Same fucking lawyer got him off. Alex Steele is going to get Diddy off. So Alex Steele is going to be like, all right, we just went through this with Young Thug. So this is what we're going to do. Because I know y'all need y'all conviction rate. We will agree to 1 year, time served, and 1 year rehab facility and 10 years probation. Or we continue this trial knowing that the jury or everybody isn't going to plead him guilty. And I'm doing this for you because I want y'all to give me, y'all got to understand, lawyers do things for favors in the future. So he will give you Diddy and put Diddy in jail for a year, even though Diddy can go straight home. Because the thing about it is, lawyers need a favor for another case in the future. So they want to give the federal government a guilty plea somehow. So I'm gonna say this again. Diddy's lawyers do not want to win this case. They don't want to win this case because the government will then have a black eye on their conviction rates. The government will look stupid if he just gets off. So in order to make sure the government is protected and not looking stupid and making it look like this whole thing is a witch hunt, the government is like, all right, we got to get him on something. And Brian Steele is just going to be like, just give him 1 year like we did when Young Thug and we get up out of here. And they're going to be like, all right, cool. Diddy's lawyers do not want Diddy to go free because then the government is going to be looking at Diddy's lawyers as like, damn, y'all just made us look stupid. You don't want to make the federal government look stupid. You want to work with the federal government so you can kind of like get another, another bullshit plea for your next client. So Brian Steele does not want Diddy to go home. Keep that in mind. He needs this favor. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree or understand what I'm saying. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all understand what I'm saying. All right, let's go back to this video here.
We will see where that goes. We're also going to find out tomorrow about the mistrial. But this Jane certainly has revealed a lot about their relationship that we just had no idea all of this is going on and going on so late into 2024, just a month before he was arrested. So who are the winners and losers today? The winner is the prosecution. And, as far as the sex trafficking, I think, Jane has certainly painted a picture of every time she's with him, it is purely for those purposes. Now, again, like I said, the big question is going to be, was she willing? Was she doing this willingly? She has said that there are many times she didn't want to do it and felt forced into it, or she was drugged. Although then the question is going to be, was she forced to take the ecstasy? Did she do it willingly? All of that will be cleared up, I hope, once the cross-examination begins. And then, of course, there'll be a redirect. Tomorrow is going to be a huge, huge day. And we are, of course, going to have all of that for you on the website.
Grab your popcorn and get your ears on because Diddy is now asking for a mistrial. That's right, a mistrial. So I've been going.
See right here, they don't want a mistrial. They're saying they want a mistrial in order to let the government know, like, yo, you want a mistrial or you want to offer a little cushy plea deal? Mistrial or a plea deal? Y'all see what I'm saying? They don't want a mistrial. They're just threatening in order for them to agree to a plea deal.
Over the court documents over the weekend, and I found some crazy stuff in there. So he's trying to toss this whole thing out, claiming prosecutorial misconduct. The defense sent a letter to the judge saying, and I quote, they're renewing their motion for a mistrial because the prosecution allegedly brought in testimony they knew was false.
No!
According to the letter, if a conviction happens based on perjured testimony and the prosecution knew or should have known it was a lie, that conviction has to be tossed. They even cited the Supreme Court saying a lie is a lie, no matter what it's about. And if it's relevant to the case, the prosecution has a duty to correct it, not let it ride. So what's the lie they're talking about? I'm about to let y'all know. That wild claim that Diddy allegedly dangled Brianna Bungalan over a balcony back in September 2016, the defense says that never happened and that the government knew it didn't. So they argue the prosecution only used it to paint Diddy as a scary, violent man, someone who had Cassie and her circle of friends in fear. Now, here's where it gets deep. The letter says both Cassie and Bungalan gave statements about the balcony incident, but key parts of it were false. And not only that the government allegedly knew it was false and still used it to get a certain testimony allowed in court that normally would not have been. So Cassie's version of the events, she testified that she personally saw Diddy holding Bungalan over.
Personally saw, which is a lie. She didn't personally see shit. They're both lying on purpose in order to get Diddy off. They're constructing a mistrial.
The balcony, then bringing her back and tossing her into the patio furniture. But the defense says the prosecution had text messages proving Cassie never saw it with her own eyes. She only heard about it later from someone else. There's even a text message from Cassie that says, hey, I just found out some crazy-ish. So it's clear she wasn't an eyewitness, but she still stuck to the story on the stand.
And real quick, speaking of coercion, can I coerce 10 people watching to buy one of my card games? Because some of y'all got one of two, but y'all don't have both of them. So speaking of coercion, Can I coerce you into buying a card game? The link is under this video. The link is in the chat. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. Click the link to buy one of my Deeper Discussions card games. So can I coerce 10 people watching to buy one of my card games? Y'all listen to this. This is part of my coercion right here. I'm trying to coerce y'all real quick.
Mr. Let Go's card game, Deeper Discussions, and I brought it out during a holiday party that I was having at my house. And within 1 hour of playing this game, I had 2 grown men in my living room crying. And they were being very open, honest, transparent. It was almost like it offered them a therapy session. And they could say things and express things that they hadn't been able to before. And I thought that was awesome. To this day, I am friends with one of the guy's girlfriends, and she attributes the improvement in their relationship to us having that moment. And the moment was caused by the card game. But really, what the card game does is create the context for these
wanted from your mother. Time, acknowledgement, and apology.
Here's a little bit more coercion for this card game, y'all.
What is something that you always wanted from your mother? Time, acknowledgement, and apology? What if I told you that all of your answers are in this card game?
What was the biggest thing missing in your life growing up?
I would say I feel like you prioritized work over me a lot. My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like no the lights are, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
All right, let's get back to it. Oh, my coercion worked. 4 people bought the card game thus far. Can I get 6 more people to buy my card games? I'm trying to see if I can get some coercion going. I coerced 4 people just now to buy card games. Can I get 6 more people to buy either one of my card games? All right, let's get back to these videos.
Pressed her on cross. Question, you saw him throw her into a patio, right? Cassie, yep, I saw him pull her back and toss her down. Even when shown the text messages contradicting her story, she didn't back down. They asked her again, question, did you learn about this incident after it happened? Cassie, I saw what I saw, so I don't know. What? Then they asked if prosecutors went over that message with her before she testified. Cassie, not this one, no. So now the defense says the jury was misled, that Cassie never actually saw this so-called balcony incident, and that changes the impact of her whole testimony. But wait, there's more. The defense also says Bungalin gave false testimony too. She claimed Diddy picked her up and held her so high that her feet were on the balcony railing and said it gave her neck, back, and leg injuries. She even emphasized the bruise on her leg as one of the moments that stuck with her the most. But here's what the defense says. This entire story doesn't physically add up. They argue Diddy isn't even that tall. He's not tall enough to pull that off, especially not holding a grown woman over a railing by her armpits like that. Plus, Bungalin and Cassie had been in constant contact before and after the lawsuit, so there was plenty of opportunity to coordinate stories. And here's another layer. Bungalin has a $10 million lawsuit riding on this exact claim. So yeah, the defense says she's got a serious financial reason to exaggerate what happened. And the kicker, Diddy might have even been in California when this allegedly happened. They say they've got receipts literally showing he was staying at the Trump Hotel in New York from September 24th through the 28th of 2016. That hotel stay is documented in evidence. So if Diddy was in New York at the time, he couldn't have been dangling anyone off a balcony in Los Angeles, right? The defense is arguing that not only did the prosecution know this, but they pushed the story anyway. So now we wait. Will the judge throw this whole thing out and grant a mistrial? Or did someone mix up the dates and this whole mess is just confusion? Let me know what y'all think. Do you think the judge is gonna go for this mistrial or not? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this case is getting messier by the minute. So off the record, okay, I am with the defense team because I feel like everybody needs a fair trial. I don't even care if it's Diddy and all of the crazy stuff that they say about him. I don't like nobody doing this weird junk to get a payday. I don't care for that. There are real victims that really need their stories to be heard, and they really need justice. So when y'all start doing this weird junk like y'all did for OJ, that's how y'all messed the whole trial up. Keep government planting stuff. Y'all gotta stop it with that mess. This is crazy. It's getting crazier by the minute.
A lot of people don't realize if Diddy is found guilty, not only does he risk spending the rest of his life in prison, he also could potentially lose everything.
June, you said you're waiting on the mother-daughter car game. Did you buy the game? I don't see your name on here. I don't see the name on the list of people who bought. Are you waiting on a car game, or what do you mean? I'm trying to make sure you didn't order the game and you didn't get it. So June, you said I'm waiting for the mother-daughter car game. Did you order it already, or you're planning on ordering it? And if you did order it, your daughter is buying it for you. Okay, I'm just making sure. Okay, so she bought it. Okay, just making sure.
Diddy's biggest hit will be if he is found guilty of this RICO charge, because the feds are going to go after every asset that this man has. And I do think Diddy is starting to get nervous about this RICO charge because he has just hired another lawyer, but this isn't a lawyer that's going to be in the courtroom. This is a lawyer who deals with the forfeiture of assets. Crazy part is the man that Diddy just hired, his prior job was working for the Department of Justice as an expert in forfeiture of assets. Now this right here is the forfeiture allegations just over the RICO charge. They also have some for the trafficking and all of the other charges, but this is going to be the biggest one. They start naming off a whole bunch of things that they are going to go after, like money, property, things that he has, but also notice they say the enterprise named and described that the defendant established. And this means they are going to try to take everything from 2004 to 2024, because they are saying this is how long the Combs enterprise worked under the RICO charge. And then they start even naming these businesses that Diddy owned, saying the RICO charge happened during Diddy owning all of these businesses, which, mind you, happened all the way from 2004 to 2024, and they are naming Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global. But one part they're going after, Combs Global, started putting all of the companies under this one company. It includes Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Spritz for Ciroc and De Leon, Aqua Hydrate, Revolt Media, Sean John, Capital Preparatory Charter Schools, the Sean Combs Foundation, and then they expanded even more and added Empire Global, formerly Shop Circulate, Our Fair Share, Love Records, and into the cannabis industry. When I say Diddy is at risk of losing not only his life, but absolutely everything, I mean that, because all of his companies, they are trying to clock it. Not only are they going after every single business that this man owned, they are going after all of the cash. They are going after all of the cars. They are going after all of the homes. They are going after everything. The very wide timeline of time under the RICO charge of 2004 to 2024 is huge. But like I said, the forfeiture allegations don't end with the RICO charge. The RICO charge does have a wider time frame of 2004 to 2024.
Okay, June, I just want to make sure you're good, because I like to give good customer service and make sure everybody got what they wanted.
But they also fall under counts 2 and 4 of the trafficking charges. Trafficking charges 1 of Cassie Ventura fall from the timeline of 2009 to 2018. Then count 4 of the trafficking charge is for victim number 2, and they are alleging that this time frame is 2021 to 2024. And the forfeiture allegations don't end there. They also come up in counts 3 and count 5 of the transportation to engage in prosta, which is the same exact timeline of both of the trafficking charges, because Cassie and victim 2 are listed under counts 3 and count 5. It's pretty clear that Diddy could possibly lose not only his life, but he could lose absolutely everything. All of this makes it pretty clear why Diddy hired a lawyer who formerly worked for the Department of Justice as an expert in the forfeiture of assets. In my opinion, I think that Diddy waited a little bit too late to try to do this. I think that he should have retained this type of lawyer in the very beginning, because he knew that the feds were coming after this. But I think it shows us that Diddy is possibly getting really nervous about these charges and how it might be playing out against him. Y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. The grand jury has just subpoenaed Diddy and 50 Cent's baby mama, Daphne Joy. The grand jury subpoenaed Diddy and Daphne.
So So this right here is from 2024. So I ran across this, and this is interesting. So this is from 2024 right here. This is not recent. She did this video in 2024, like August of 2024. Listen to this.
Joy for an incident that happened at a Miami hotel. Diddy and Daphne Joy are both named in the subpoena. The subpoena calls for the hotel to hand over reservation records involving Diddy, Daphne, and other associates of Bad Boy Entertainment CEO. The subpoena specifies the period from January 1st, 2008 to the present time, asking for check-in and check-out dates, room numbers, guest preferences and requests, billing information, and including room service. Federal prosecutors are also requesting email and mailing addresses and phone numbers, along with forms of payment such as cash or credit cards. Prosecutors also ask for computer IP addresses and logins for individuals, as well as copies of their identifications and vehicle information. And the feds don't stop there. They're also inquiring about surveillance footage at the hotel. We know that Rodney Jones said that Daphne Joy was a worker for Diddy, so I'm curious if this is what they're looking into. And
remember, Daphne Joy was a worker for Diddy. And June says, her name is can you see? Yeah, I just looked. I didn't see her name. So she hasn't ordered yet.
now we know that the
And to the people who have ordered card games, we had like 8 card games ordered now. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. And let's get 2 more card games ordered before the live stream is over. Can we get 2 more? Let's get the 10 card games bought. Can we get 2 more people to buy a card game? One or both.
Diddy investigation is still rolling. So you guys let me know what you guys think about Diddy and 50 Cent's baby mama, Daphne Joy, being subpoenaed by the grand jury.
Jane Doe was just asked about how she paid for her attorney, and she actually answered that Diddy pays for her.
So, did the prosecution prove racketeering conspiracy? Yes. Did Diddy commit bribery? Yes. But a jury is a jury. That's the question. The card games are the selection. I don't know which one to choose. Well, Tia, this card game is meant for a man or a woman to be able to properly vet the opposite sex when you're going out on a date with somebody, or if you're in a relationship with somebody now, you play the card game with that person to see if they're marriageable or they're worth, starting a family with, right? This card game right here is meant to heal you from whatever issues that you had with your mother growing up. So you play this card game with your mom, or you can play this card game with your friends and talk about your mom, right? Like your family members or whatever. And next thing you know, y'all playing a card game, y'all having fun. And it's like therapy in a box. You literally heal from your mother wounds by just simply playing the game, because you get inspired to actually just let go of your resentment that you have towards your mom. So both card games are therapeutic and meant to just change your future ramifications with, possibly being with the wrong person. So, yeah. So Diddy is guilty of a lot of these different things. Yes, but is a jury going to say guilty? The answer is no. Why? Because other than the abuse, which isn't what he's on trial for, these guilty actions these guilty actions are not worth putting a man in prison for 20 years to life. And just for the record, this is not a RICO charge. This is a racketeering charge. So it's not RICO. This is racketeering, which means that Diddy didn't have to do all of these things. He simply was the mastermind behind these things happening. And he is guilty of all that. But it's a very weak case. There's no drugs. There's no guns. Do y'all remember he was caught with guns, allegedly, with the serial number filed off? That's not what he's on trial for. So there's no drugs, there's no guns, there's no tadpoles, there's no tunnels, there's no actual real crimes. So all 12 jurors, and 8 of them are male, are going to look at this and say, man, I'm not putting no man in prison for this. These women wanted to be with him. These women literally are jockeying to be with him. What is the coercion? What is the he didn't even R-word nobody. He wouldn't even have sex with the goddamn women. The other dudes would have sex with him. So it's like we all traded something for some pussy. I traded stuff for pussy. Like, should I go to prison for that? No. I don't flew chicks out. I ain't paid no woman's rent, but paying the chick's rent because you think she fine is a jailable offense? No. I don't lie to women before. Should I go to prison? No. So lying to women to get them to think that they're special isn't a crime. So where the fuck is the crime? Especially when all of this has been proven to be consensual. Cassie wanted the freak offs. Cassie admitted to abusing and threatening the lives of, I think, 2 particular escorts. Cassie was literally like, I'm going to use Diddy's resources to murk you. That doesn't sound like a slave. That doesn't sound like a person being held against their will. Like, what are we talking about here? I'm looking for a video. I guess I deleted the video or something. Did I delete the video? Yeah, I probably deleted the video. So Cassie was running around threatening people as much as Diddy was threatening people. Cassie became an abuser. The Jane Doe also wanted the escorts at some point. Answer me this. If Diddy actually proposed to Cassie, I want y'all to answer me in the comments. If Diddy actually proposed to Cassie, would she have said yes, being this victim? Answer in the comments right now. Drop in the comments, y'all. If Diddy got on one knee at any point to this victim named Cassie or to this victim named Jane Doe and got on one knee and had a Tiffany ring and said, will you be my wife? As a victim, yes or no? Would she say yes or would she say no? The bitch will say yes. The only reason why she left Diddy eventually is because she got tired of him not marrying her. She didn't get away. She didn't flee. No. She got sick of him not choosing her. What are we talking about? I'm just saying. Last video, and we're going to get up out of here. Put Diddy in a position where he actually may beat this case. Cassie may still. We're going to talk about Cassie for a second. Because he would have got down on one knee and asked her to marry him, she would have said yes. Did Cassie inadvertently or purposely put Diddy in a position where he actually may beat this case? Cassie may still, after all these years, because I think she's like 37 or 38, to this day, may have Stockholm syndrome. And because of the Stockholm syndrome, wants to see Diddy free. We want to talk about Stockholm syndrome and the loyalty that women have to the man that has imprinted her. And she's going to have this loyalty for the rest of her life. It's not about being with Diddy. It's about getting approval from Diddy. It's about showing her undying vampire loyalty to Diddy. She has to be loyal to the man that bit her, to the man that bit her, to the man that bit her. So she can go on with her life. But the first thing she has to do before she goes on with her life is to ensure that Diddy does not go to prison. Diddy is Cassie's imprint. Her testimony explained it. So what I'm saying is, she still may be subtly looking for Diddy's approval. She said it in the testimony. She said she did all the freak offs, the pee in the mouth and messing with this person and messing with that person. She literally said, I did freak offs like it was a full-time job. We did 4-day-long freak offs. She drugged herself. She said she took the drugs. She said she did all the shit. She said she went to Craigslist. She went to Backpage. She said she choreographed the freak offs. She said, I took the drugs to numb myself from everything. She said, I took the drugs. Not one time in her testimony did she say, he gave me the drugs. She said, I took the drugs. Diddy is Cassie's spirit animal, but women don't care about somebody saving them. They care about them saving you. See, y'all, back up. Listen to this again. This is very important. Animal, but women don't care about. Hold on. This is very important right here. Y'all listen to this. I took the drugs. Not one time in her testimony did she say, he gave me the drugs. She said, I took the drugs. Diddy is Cassie's spirit animal, but women don't care about somebody saving them. They care about them saving you. See, when you did not get the love and protection from your mother, who is your original savior, you become the savior. You don't give a shit about somebody saving you. You need to be the person saving them, because nobody saved you when you were little. So now you become the mother and you run around trying to save people. She's telling the court, she's telling the jury, hey, what we did was legal. So if her testimony helps Diddy beat these charges, he may finally see her in a way she always needed him to see her, without using her body, something that she never has been able to do in the past. If she bottoms for Diddy when he needs her the most, which is helping him avoid prison time, it may release her from a lifetime of feeling not enough. She has proven to Diddy, after all these years, that Cassie is the most valuable commodity that he's ever had. See, this is the reason why women want men who get bitches. Because a man that gets bitches is the one who actually would see you as special, because he gets a lot of bitches. And then a man that gets a lot of bitches, if he settles down with you, you're going to be like, wow, I must be special, because he had the opportunity to get with all of them women, but he chose to be with me. Versus a man that doesn't get bitches and walks up and says, you're special. You're like, nigga, you just don't get no bitches. So the man that gets bitches, that gets with you, is the one that's going to make you actually feel like you're special. But the man that don't get bitches, that wants to be with you, you're not going to believe that he thinks you're special. You're going to think he just is a dude that can't get bitches. And you're the prettiest girl he's just ever been with. And he ain't experienced shit. Because all these other women are so much more pretty than me. He can't get those women. Therefore, you don't want to be with him. Because why would I want to be with somebody that has to think I'm special? Because he can't get nobody else better than me. You want a man that can get women better than you, but you choose her because you think she's special. I do this shit for a goddamn living. What I am saying is, if you believe deep down that you are not worthy of love, you're going to date a man that will confirm to you that you're not worthy of love. Sometimes a woman would be in this toxic, terrible, disgusting relationship with a man, but no matter what, no matter where she goes, no matter what happens in her life, she's still drawn back to this toxic, terrible, disgusting man that doesn't mean her any good. If you've ever felt like you've been drawn or are drawn back to this toxic, pooky dude, even though you're trying to go live your life and be free, but something in your brain, because it's your brain wiring that's causing you to still have this connection to this toxic, terrible, disgusting dude. She ends up believing she's unlovable. And then at some point, she gets with a guy that wants to love her, and she's just like, what's wrong with you? She actually looks down on the guy that wants to love her, that views her as lovable. Y'all get that part right there? Y'all ever heard a woman? Oh, I'm gonna show y'all a video of a woman doing that. I'm gonna let that video play a little longer, but that's a real thing. When a woman thinks that she's unlovable, when she turns around and feels like my mom didn't love me, my daddy didn't love me, no man I ever dated loved me, you'll actually think your reality is nobody is supposed to love you because you're not lovable. And then a man comes in saying, I love you. You like, why? Or you'll be like, you don't love me. You don't even know me. You just think I'm pretty. Have y'all ever heard that before? It's a real thing. So when a woman thinks she's unlovable, she looks for men to not love her and to treat her badly. This is some real shit, y'all. What's wrong with you? She actually looks down on the guy that wants to love her, that views her as lovable, because she's like, why? Don't nobody think I'm lovable. And here you come talking about I'm lovable. What do you want from me? You're either a lame or either you are a good man, but you don't see that I'm unlovable. At some point, you're going to see that I'm unlovable and you're going to leave me. I ain't finna fall for this. You think I'm crazy. I'm out. Yep. And then she self-sabotages the relationship because she doesn't think she's lovable. She doesn't think she's worthy of love. Women like her do not value somebody valuing them because it does not confirm what they already believe about themselves. The number one biological thing that we all have to be aware of, we search out in the world for confirmation of what we think about ourselves. If you think you're not worthy of love, you're going to find a man that does not think you're worthy of love in order to confirm what you already believe about yourself.
Hey, how about we meet up at a coffee shop and play this fun dating card game? We'll have fun and see if we're compatible all at the same time.
Ooh, what's the name of the game?
It's called Deeper Discussions.
I'm down.
Okay, meet you at 6.
Fellas, buy this card game. Ladies, buy this card game. How about 2 or 3 card games? The main reason why people can't stay together isn't because they don't like each other no more. It's actually because their present family issues come up or their past family issues come up. But when you play Deeper Discussions, you'll be able to understand a person's family issues up front.
This game can be played with either 2 people or an entire group. So have fun. Deeper Discussions Dating Edition. Again, these cards are good for vetting a potential boyfriend, a potential girlfriend, a potential husband, a potential wife. Actually, these cards are so soft and silky, by the way. Like
they ain't gonna get
really
wore out.
Durable.
A dating card game for introverts who have a hard time asking the much needed compatibility questions. Deeper Discussions, the card game.
All right, so there's a video that describes everything that I just said in that video, but I can't goddamn find it. So, it's the perfect not worthy of love proof. Got 3 goddamn phones and I can't figure out where the hell the damn video is. Hold on, let me try one more time because y'all gotta see this. I don't see it. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. I can't remember when I downloaded it and what phone I downloaded it on. Oh well, I can't find it. Yeah, I don't know where it's at. I download so much shit. But thank y'all for hanging out with me. Thank y'all for buying. We got to 9 card games sold. So thank y'all for that. I appreciate y'all. And I'm gonna get back into the Diddy stuff. I know I've been gone for a minute. I've been doing a lot of stuff, but make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Share this video if you have not already, because nobody's talking about what actually is going to happen. So hit the like button, and I'll talk to y'all later.